Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. So as you know, on my channel, I show people how I made my fortune in real estate, starting at 19 years old, millionaire by 28. I did it with lots of little deals, making $5, $10, $15, $20,000 at a time. As I got older, then I made millions at a time and hundreds and thousands at a time. There's lots of deals, but the bulk of my wealth, the first million I made it in tiny deals, okay, little ones. And you can too. Today we're going to talk about Stephan. He talks about his real estate and talks about how he made his money, and we're going to take a closer look at Graham. So if you don't already have my book, it's Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. You can get it on Kindle for $10. Listen, there's more information in this book than most courses that cost you $2,000, and the difference is I'm not some BS or some seminar bullshitter. I'm the real thing. I really did make this money. I really do these things. So, hey, enjoy the show. So Stephan, I kept seeing his name kind of come up in relation to investments and investing, and I seen him talk about Bitcoin and this, that, and the other thing. So I took a little bit closer look at him, you know, because I hate to see anybody waste time listening to somebody about investing if it really is not their strong suit. So that's kind of what this is about. Is Stephan really someone that can teach you about investing in real estate? Now, I say that because that's something I do. I share with people how to make money. I would hate to see people waste time. I don't like to be a spectator. I like to be somebody working and making money and doing the right things to bring up my wealth. You know, I've owned a sports bar, and I don't watch sports because I'm making money like the football players playing, doing the entertaining. I'm making money on the people watching the sport. And I've never been a fan of watching. And also while I'm here, I'm taking a look at some of my properties. For those you've been following, I just got that fence done. I'm selling this property right here, and I'm also selling that property there on the corner. I sold this one here already to my left. I'm gonna sell this one here over here on my other left, more to the left too. So I'm kind of checking on this stuff while I talk to you guys, which also goes to the point, always check references. If somebody's gonna tell you how to make money, you need to kind of look at them. See, you know, what do they have that you don't already know? What do they have that you don't have? You know, if you're going to go learn how to build your muscles, certainly you don't want to learn from a guy with a pot belly, right? You want to learn from somebody that's in shape. So in other words, they got to have qualities that you don't already have, or they got to have something to bring to the table. Otherwise, you're kind of just wasting your time. Back to Stephan. So I see Stephan. I see he's opening up a $20,000 watch, unboxing of this. I'm talking about Bitcoin. Then he's talking about how he lost money on Bitcoin. You know, these things are really not conducive to making money, to be honest. Looking at him, I looked at his portfolio. That's the video that I actually did watch all the way through. And that was his $6 million portfolio. So I was looking at his purchases. He's been buying property since it looks like 2012. And this is a young man. He's about 30 years old, I think. I looked at his portfolio. So he bought a house back in 2012, San Bernardino area. This isn't a high run area. It isn't a high dollar area, but he got a deal. Sounds like he got a deal. I kind of know that area. On the other side of the hill, I actually probably bought 40 properties. On the other side of the hill, meaning Lancaster, Palmdale area, LA County. He's in San Bernardino County, I think, from what he described. But I know the area a little bit. Anyways, so in 2012, there were deals to be had. There were some short sales. There were people upside down. So he bought a couple properties in 2012 for like $69,000 and $72,000. And it sounded like he was getting about $1,100 a month rent on those, which is a good return for that amount of money down. So I give him some points on buying those properties. Then later he bought his third property. He got a 3-unit, same year, for he got it for $125,000. He thinks it's worth about $380,000. I know what he put into it. But getting back to where he started from, he's a real estate agent, and he was first a leasing agent, and I think really this is his strong suit. He should be teaching people how to become an agent because really, I would pay attention to him if I was somebody young. And I tell people all the time, get into real estate, be an agent to begin with. I'm an investor. That's where the big money is. Looking at his portfolio, he got a $45,000 commission.
That home sold for $3.6 million, which meant that my take from that was about $45,000.
And, you know, that was what really got him excited about being a sales agent as opposed to a leasing agent. In all honesty, I tell people all the time, be a leasing agent to begin with, then graduate to becoming a sales agent, or just graduate to becoming an investor as soon as you can within that time frame that you're getting knowledge. The reason I like the idea of people becoming an agent is because they're immersed in the business. Most agents are not very good investors. I don't necessarily consider Stefan a particularly good investor either, but he is an investor. But also with Graham, he's knocking down about $500,000 a year in real estate commissions.
That you don't need to start off with a whole bunch of money to build up a pretty sizable portfolio in your 20s. Bunch of money.
Now, I give him credit for being a good realtor and for doing the right things and for making that happen. But most people can't relate to having $500,000 a year coming in and then going to buy real estate. Well, I think he bought his first couple properties right. First three, I would say. After that, then his fourth property was $780,000, and that was in 2016. From what he talks about, he could pay cash for these properties. Not from making money on real estate, because from what I've seen, he hasn't sold anything that he's bought, which again is a little bit of a strike against you, because you really haven't proven that you know how to make money in real estate until you actually have sold something, right? If you buy it and then you resell it, well, there's something. And actually, that's a property of mine right there. I paid $1.1 million cash for that property, and it was all from profits from another deal. Because that's one thing I like to do. I always like to establish my own credibility. I think it's important. Why would you listen to me otherwise? So back to Graham. So then, like I said, he bought the first three properties he bought. He didn't spend $300,000 on all three of them combined, but he was getting a pretty decent return, at least on one of them, $1,100 a month. I'm going to assume he got a decent return on all of them. But after that, again, it looked to me like he really wasn't making tremendously good purchases. He was buying stuff pretty much at full retail value, and again, that doesn't really help anybody that's starting from much less. I mean, if you make $500,000 a year, yeah, you can go buy $1 million property. You can do anything. My problem is, with that type of investing, it's really not investing. That's speculating. And when you're really starting with zero, or you're, just say you're an average person making $50,000 to $100,000 a year or less, you need to make money on every purchase. You need to know how to buy and flip a property. And that's what I've done. That's how I made it. I mean, I was starving. I was self-employed, and I was not making good money. And I did not have credit, because your name is mud when you are self-employed, especially when you're a teenager and you're self-employed. But that doesn't matter. You can make money. But again, I'm kind of getting back to who you should be listening to make money. There's other people out there too that I see talking about, you invest, you should invest. I don't see any real proof that they know what they're doing. I don't see that they bought something and resold it and made a profit. It's one thing to buy something and say it's worth a lot more, but it's a different story when you buy something and you sell it for more. And even where we just drove through, that one of those houses I bought for $179, and I sold it for $430,000. And a lot of the money has to be made on the purchase, right? Because that's your hedge against going down the drain. If you buy full value and the market takes a slide, now you can't get out. And if you got a negative, that's a big problem for somebody making under $100,000 a year. But if you're making $500,000 a year as an agent or whatever, you can afford negatives like that. So again, I was going through his list of properties and things that he's bought that made up his $6 million portfolio, and I'm just not super impressed with the purchases. In Graham, if you watch this, you could be doing a lot better with your money. Got a purchase here, actually his most recent purchase, 2018. He paid $835,000, and he says it's worth $900,000. Well, to me, even if that information is 100% accurate, that is a terrible investment. Okay, that is a terrible deal. I mean, he bought it for maybe 8-9% under market, assuming this is correct, or if it went up that much. In general, things have been going up about 8% a year. So it's not a spectacular deal, and it's not a big deal. It's certainly not information that anybody can really use to create wealth. This is a recipe for people that have wealth and just want to spend, because there's nothing spectacular about that at all. And then his final part of his $6 million portfolio is he saved $1.8 million, $1,850,000 he saved. Okay, now I don't know how many people can save $1.8 million. Okay, he saved it in He didn't make it on his rentals because he didn't make it on his real estate because he didn't flip any of it. But he made it in commissions, and I would assume his YouTube proceeds. But I consider Graham more of a Ty Lopez. He's kind of a talk show guy, you know, and there's nothing wrong with it. I would just tell young people that want to make money, you need to choose your mentors carefully. And I think Graham is a fine mentor for becoming a real estate agent and building a YouTube channel. In fact, I would be happy to mentor Graham on his real estate, and he can mentor me on my YouTube channel. But again, you got to spend your time carefully. Spend your time wisely. What you invest your time in. This is another property owned, by the way. This is an old school. This is a school. This is actually an elementary school I bought about 12 years ago. And it's made money since day one. I'm going to build a shopping center here. It's over 3 acres. And that's a food park behind me, too, that I also own. Yeah, the other thing I thought was kind of funny, actually, is when Graham goes through his $6 million portfolio, and I give him credit for being honest about, you know, talking about how he, you know, what his portfolio is. But that last part where he saved them $1,850,000, he concludes that video by saying, "So I just wanted to share with y'all," and I'm paraphrasing. I just want to share with everyone, you know, how, you know, if you got a little money coming in, how you can invest your money, or something to that effect. But I just thought it was interesting to refer to, you know, he's making about $1.5 million a year, I believe. But just on his real estate alone, you know, a $500,000 or so in real estate commissions.
That you don't need to start off with a whole bunch of money.
Referring that to as being a little income, and is just a little bit, I think, out of touch. So what I would tell you is, overall, and this is just part one, I'm just trying to do something here between running errands here on Graham, because I'm going to talk about him some more. Again, I think he's a bright young guy. He's a charismatic guy. I think he's got a lot to offer in as much as telling people how to make money as a real estate agent. I don't know that he wants to give up all of his secrets on that, but being a real estate agent is a very good way to go, because it doesn't take any talent. It doesn't, I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't take any talent, but it really doesn't take that much talent. It just takes hustle. You know, he's probably a hustler, I'm sure. You just got to hustle. You got to move. You got to try. I know an agent, she's about 55 years old, and last I heard, when she was in her mid-40s, she'd already taken in her share, over $40 million in commission. That's impressive. And supposedly somebody in her same office has taken in $28 million in commissions. And I'm not talking about what they split with the broker. I'm talking about after. That was their share after the broker. That's what they got. So that is a lot of money for a 28-year-old, $28 million, and 40-year-old, 40-something million. I mean, that's impressive. In fact, I let that one agent sell my house about 20 years ago in California. Again, I want to give back. The main thing here, I'm not knocking Graham. I mean, I don't think he's a particularly great investor by any means. Don't think he should be teaching people how to invest. I just don't think he has the portfolio to do that. He saved almost $2 million cash. So this kid knows how to make money. You know, Ben Mala, there's a guy, I like Ben Mala. I've just watched him a little bit, just recently discovered the guy. Got a ton of viewers, followers. But when I listen to Ben, I feel like I'm listening to myself. So I know he's done it. I know he's the real deal. And everything he says makes sense. He uses his own money. Me too. You know, he started out in property management. I didn't, but I tell people, be a property manager, be a real estate agent, immerse yourself in the field. He advises the same. Like he said, really, from his perspective, being a property manager, it's not something I manage my own property. I have people that work for me too, but then I probably manage some properties that are too far away that I don't want to mess with. But for somebody starting, getting immersed in real estate, even if you're a real estate agent part-time, get your foot in the door. There's deals that swirl around in that office that nobody knows about. They're called in-house deals. And there's a lot of opportunities there. But the main thing is that you'll be selling to guys like me and guys like Ben Mala that know what they're doing, and you'll watch them make money right in front of you. You'll watch them buy something from you for $100,000 and resell it for $200,000, and you go, wow, what happened? You know, that could have been me, and it could have been you. And so that stuff happens. I'm going to start looking at some of these other YouTubers. I hadn't looked at Phil Pustojovsky. I don't know if he's made any money in real estate. I see him talking and I see him telling stuff, but I really don't know the details on him. Yeah, but I'm going to look at him a little bit closer too. I looked at Than Merrill a little bit. I'm going to do a video on Than Merrill too. I can't say I like anything I've seen about Than Merrill yet. A lot of people are really upset, and I heard people going to his seminars and they get squeezed for big bucks. And I don't agree with that at all. I think if you have money, that's your seed capital. Hang on to that money. That money will make you money. You just need to follow some people like me and Ben Mala and other people that are credible investors that show you where they make the money, how they made the money, how they made the deal. That's very important, is how you make the deal. Again, like I say, this is part one. We'll come back. We'll circle back to Graham again. But I certainly think he's entertaining enough guy. Seems like a nice guy. If you follow him, I think you should be picking his brain about how to become a successful real estate agent and how to get listings and where to find people. And, you know, because, I mean, really, becoming a listing agent, that's where it's at, being a listing agent. As long as you're a listing agent, I mean, you've got your thumb on half the money already. You've got 3% of the deal in general. When you get the listing, you've got the contract. You get a piece no matter what. Then you put it on the MLS. Somebody else sells it, and you know, either way, you don't even have to do the work. You just got to get in the pool of properties that are available. And as an investor, I try to find properties before they ever get to the MLS, because once they get to the MLS, then things start bidding up high. So you always want to buy under market. You know, you always want to buy under market. There's no reason to pay full value ever. You know, when you have money, when you're rich, you can take a chance and you can speculate. You want to pay full value for something because you think it's going to become worth more, or maybe you're just rich enough you can buy it and no big deal. It's like buying a car, no big deal. But unless you're there, then you need to use your money as a tool. It's your number one tool. Take that money and just remember, that's value. So my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate, shows you how I started making money starting from zero, how you can make money starting from zero. This is actually really a real estate course, exactly what to do, and it's $10. You can get it $10 on Kindle, cost of a beer, or just watch my videos and other people's videos. If you get the Kindle book, there's links that'll take you directly to videos relative to the story I'm telling or explaining, or, you know, whether it's contracts or owner financing or whatever. So FlipAnythingUSA, be sure to share, subscribe. Appreciate your comments, and thanks for watching.